So the Chiefs get some good news. A big boost is back for their offense with the return of their wide receiver 1 just in time for the Raiders game. However, there are still questions and concerns as another key piece of the team remains away for personal reasons. And in today's video, I will give what updates I do have from today's pressers, look a bit at this upcoming game against the Raiders, a recent roster move made, and more. But first, how about those? Alright, so after that very fun, satisfying win over the Detroit Lions that people are still crying about to this day, it's time to turn the page to Raiders Week. One of the best rivalries in football history, spans the course of decades. I know the Raiders haven't been ultra competitive in recent years, but that doesn't mean this game on Sunday that's actually at noon, by the way, is going to be easy. Remember the Christmas game a couple years ago? Ugly losses can still absolutely happen, especially divisional games that can honestly just get pretty weird at times. However, the Chiefs are currently 11.5-point favorites. They're playing at home. The offense is really starting to heat up. They're getting Rashee Rice back this week on top of all of that. And most analysts with a brain are picking the Chiefs to win. You can't sleepwalk past the Raiders or anything like that, but it is a pretty big mismatch, I guess you could say, on paper, especially considering Vegas has been playing without Brock Bowers, one of the best tight ends in football, and he's most likely going to miss this game as well as he continues to heal up from a knee injury that he sustained weeks back. Then wide receiver Jakobi Meyers, he has been in recent trade rumors. Don't know if he'll be inactive or not on Sunday. If he is, that means you are down Brock Bowers and Jakobi Meyers. You're going to have to lean much more on Trey Tucker, who does have similar stats to Myers, but he has 4 touchdowns, to Myers 0. And to be clear, I have no idea if Jakobi Meyers is going to be inactive on Sunday. Just if a team is potentially going to be trading a player, they don't want to risk that player getting hurt before they are able to deal him for assets or anything like that. So time will tell there. But either way, the Raiders are going to be in enemy hostile territory, and I have a feeling the Chiefs are going to win this one by more than 1 score. In fact, I'm not sure the Raiders are even going to be able to get to 17 points in this one. That's actually their average on the year. They are 29th in the NFL. Scoring offense has been rough, to say the least. Geno Smith leads the NFL in interceptions. It's been tough sledding over there. They do have Ashton Jeanty. He's a big bright spot in the running back room. But again, this team is not the best in the world, okay? They are coming off a win over the Titans, but I do think they are in for a tough one on Sunday, especially considering that Chiefs defense just held the Lions, the #1 scoring offense heading into that game, that was averaging 35 points per game, to 17. With that being said, I'll preview this game more in depth on Friday, but there are some things to talk through about the state of the team this week. For starters, the Chiefs might only be 3-3 right now, but they are currently co-Super Bowl favorites, and Mahomes is the MVP favorite according to the Vegas betting odds. This is taking into consideration the upward trajectory the Chiefs are on, not just current records. I think if you hit pause on everything right now, Baker Mayfield could have a legitimate chance at being league MVP. But again, that's why you've got to let the entire season play out. And the fact that the Chiefs offense has averaged nearly 32 points per game over the last 3 weeks, Worthy has then helped open things up even more. And Rashee Rice is back this week. This is a very dangerous Chiefs team, clicking, firing on all cylinders at just the right time, no doubt about it. Of course, Mahomes himself is also just playing at an MVP level. They are top 3 in most categories over the last 3 weeks, EPA per play, success rate. You kind of look at it, the Chiefs are up there, and they're getting Rice back. But look at this. Mahomes is playing so well that he notched his 2nd AFC Player of the Week award in the last 3 games with his 4 total touchdown performance against the Detroit Lions. And through 6 weeks of football, if you average out Mahomes' stats to 17 games, so if he played all 17 games, he is on pace for 4,288 passing yards, 43 total touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 630 rushing yards, and that is an electric season if you ask me. Definitely MVP worthy if that pace keeps up. I will say this, I don't think the rushing yards continue at that pace. Mahomes can't continue to lead the room in rushing, especially with Rice coming back. That passing game is just going to get even more dangerous. Rice was spotted out there today at practice, so love to see that. that, and everyone on the team is stoked to have him back. Travis Kelce said on his podcast today, New Heights, that the energy in the building is electric and one of the most fun teams he's ever been on. He's happy to have Rashee back and is glad that Rice can put all that stuff behind him in the past. Obviously, people are pointing out, oh, Chiefs fans are celebrating Rashee Rice coming back, but look what he did. Well, yeah, he pled guilty. He took fault, took blame. He got suspended. He's going through legal repercussions still. He's on probation. The guy has definitely owned up to all that stuff, but now what are you going to do? He's back. The NFL is allowing him to come back, and here we are. So Chiefs fans, yes, are excited for their wide receiver one to come back. Kelce said they are about to get the most ferocious version of Rice too. Quote, I can't effing wait. That's what Trav said. And he added that Rice is ready to get in on the action. He plays with passion. He's physical, will block for the run game, and is going to provide a boost for this offense. Patrick Mahomes said something similar today during his presser. The offense keeps getting better every week. Worthy's return helped, and having Rice back will hopefully continue to help them improve even more than they already have been week after week. Rice being available is going to draw attention from defenses. I mean, he was on an absolute tear through 3 weeks of the season last year before he got hurt, and that's obviously going to open things up in the middle of the field, giving both Travis Kelce, Juju Smith-Schuster, a little bit of Hollywood Brown more opportunities. But in turn, that's also going to give more chances for the speedy deep threat guys, Xavier Worthy and Tyquan Thornton primarily, deep down the field. And that should also, in theory, help the running back room, take a little bit of stress off them. I know they aren't the most dynamic running back room in the NFL, but they've gotten better the last couple of weeks. They're running more from under center, and that has helped. Throw Rice back into the mix, and this offense is going to be scary. Now, the question is, how much will Rashee Rice actually play on Sunday? His first real game rep since the preseason. Well, there was a report from ESPN that surfaced earlier today from Jeremy Fowler saying that the Chiefs will not be easing Rashee Rice back into action. The plan is to give him a heavy workload ASAP, with a team source saying Rice will be full bore this week as he gets back onto the practice field. Well, Andy Reid was asked about that report today, and he kind of laughed about it and told the media to ask Jeremy Fowler about how much Rice will play then. That drew a laughter from the guys around, but Big Red did say they're getting him back into the swing of things, okay? Then they'll see how he does at practice this week. The plan is for him to play, but he was non-committal on how many snaps Rice will actually play out there. He did note that Rice was working hard and is in good shape, so he's returning as ready as he possibly can be from a physical standpoint. Mahomes then said that Rice is going to want to be out there every single play, noting it's going to be hard to keep him off of the field. That's the mentality he has, but it's the job of Rashee's coaches and teammates to kind of build him back up the right way upon his return. My thoughts are this: Rice definitely plays, but if the game gets out of hand quickly, i.e. Chiefs are up multiple scores, I'm not sure Rice will be getting a full workload and playing a majority of the snaps or anything crazy like that. But obviously the coaching staff is not going to be tipping their hand, so none of us will truly know until Sunday. Next up, let's get into this injury report, including those who didn't practice. The only two who didn't were left tackle Josh Simmons for personal reasons, more on him in a bit, and then running back Rashard Smith, who isn't injured but is instead dealing with an illness. Some good news about the report as well is Patrick Mahomes is off of it. He's been a full go, but he had groin listed on there and then his right wrist listed 2 weeks ago. So he's off of it. That's great. The only two new additions I see being Hollywood Brown with his Achilles and Nico Remigio thumb. Everybody else on there, including all those that I just mentioned, were all a full go, which is really good news. Now, obviously, the talk of the town is around offensive tackle Josh Simmons, who unexpectedly didn't play on Sunday against the Detroit Lions, with Jalen Moore, of course, filling in admirably. In fact, he allowed no early pressures in 13 one-on-one pass blocking snaps against Aiden Hutchinson of all people, which is absolutely incredible. Andy Reid shared today that Jalen Moore is always ready. He actually practices a third of the reps during practice because Andy Heck rotates those guys in and out along the O-line. So that's good, and that definitely helped him out there. They have a lot of trust in Moore, and that is the most important thing. Well, the big question again of the day, though, wasn't really about Jalen Moore. It was about Josh Simmons. He unexpectedly didn't play, and it was listed as personal reasons. And honestly, the details are really murky about what was going on. Some said it was a family emergency, but we didn't really know. And Andy Reid started out his presser today saying he's not going to be speaking on the Josh Simmons situation and that he's going to let Brett Veach handle it. Well, immediately after that, of course, he was asked a couple of follow-up questions about Josh Simmons, and here's how that went down.
Understanding you're going to hold back on details. Josh isn't practicing today.
Yeah, I'm just going to let it go here. Yeah.
No timeline. I know, there's no timeline whatsoever. Okay.
Yeah, so he wasn't going to give them anything. Then Mahomes was asked about Simmons as well, and he revealed basically nothing at all either.
I'll keep conversations between us, but I mean, I'm praying for all my teammates, so I'm always praying for them, and I'll just keep everything else kind of private.
So the reality is things are very quiet on the Josh Simmons front, with little to no details known being reported by the team, local beat reporters, or even national guys like Ian Rappaport with big-time sources. I did initially think it was a family emergency, which is what some surmised out of state. But for now, I'm just going to backtrack on all that and simply say I have no clue what's going on, and therefore I'm just not going to feed into several or a bunch of speculative theories. I think we will find out more soon, at least in some capacity, considering Andy Reid said that Brett Veach is handling the situation. So I think details will come out eventually. Don't need to know all of them. I think if it's a personal matter, the little we know, the better. Just want to make sure the guy's okay. And then where is the team going from here? But again, it's a very sensitive situation. People are kind of fighting about it all online. You shouldn't ask at all about it. Leave him alone. It's a personal matter, so leave it just like that. And I totally get it. The thing is, he's a left tackle, first-round pick for the Chiefs, and all this is a bit surprising, but for the time being, it's Jalen Moore season at left tackle. He's doing a great job. I just hope everything with Josh Simmons is okay. Life is more than football, even though, of course, that's what I do on this channel, is cover news around the Kansas City Chiefs. And speaking of news, there was a roster move made today, and that was re-signing wide receiver Jason Brownlee to the practice squad after waiving him earlier this week to make room for the return of Rashee Rice. So I am glad to have Jason Brownlee back, at least on the practice squad, because, hey, if you need him for emergency purposes, you now have the ability to elevate him to the active roster for game day. And to make room for Brownlee on the practice squad, they terminated the practice squad contract of defensive back Jamie Robinson. So you guys got to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below on the return of Rashee Rice. How excited are you? What are you looking forward to most? How many snaps do you think he ends up playing on Sunday? Let me know all that in the comments down below. And until next time, let's go. Let's freaking go. How about those?